morning, guys. Welcome back to my old tractor shed, and the transmission saga continues. The other day I got the power shaft out of it, and later that day actually I continued to putter a little wee bit here. I had the counter shaft in and out 2 or 3 times that day trying to get things apart. After I finished that video, I continued playing with it, and I did manage, once this upper cluster of bearings was gone, I was able to get it back and turn it a bit, and I got that gear that they had welded off. But still, I'm still running into the same problem. I can't get this bearing to go past this ring, which I believe is just a bearing carrier for they're calling this the input shaft. It won't go past there. They're saying in the manual to take a brass punch and push this shaft back to get it out of the bearing, but I must be misunderstanding that, because unless there's some way. I tried earlier with a block of wood, but that wasn't going to work. I thought perhaps I could take a piece of pipe, cut it in half, and then fit it down in here to get against the inner race of that bearing. But as I've said this in the other video, and I'm not crazy about beating on the end of shafts, trying to get things apart. I would really rather get rid of this ring and get this out and then put a bearing puller on there to get that bearing off. Shaft is almost certainly screwed, but at this point, I do need to get this whole thing apart. I got this gear off of the counter shaft the other day, and I washed it up, put my good glasses and looking at it. It's cracked, quite bad. I was out here this morning and I tried to use the close-up camera I got up above here. Tried 2 or 3 different times, it didn't work. Put macro lens on my Canon and took a couple close-ups of it, and yeah, it's not good. This bearing could have failed at any time. When I saw that, and of course there's a chip actually not too far from where that crack is, maybe a quarter way around the gear. I went and had a quick look at that whole gear train that I took out of the top. And in that video I said I wasn't sure if I was going to be taking that apart. I'm going to be taking that apart. I found a gear over there that's chipped. So I'm going to want to get that entire gear train apart, wash everything, put my real good glasses on and have a real good look at those gears. And the same with these gears that are still down here. I'm going to want to get them out and look at them a little closer. And I've got to get them out in order to get this off, in order to get that out. So I'm so far down the rabbit hole now, it really doesn't matter. I'm afraid, though, it's going to be a long while before I get this back together. I am certainly going to need to find a source for some parts. And then it's almost certainly going to be another tractor. I got a line on a 510. And as near as I can tell, these are the same, but I haven't confirmed that yet. So today, I got to get the other half of the input shaft. I got the hollow shaft off, and I took that apart the other day, and I've got seals ordered for that. So I'm going to have to get that out. I believe the inner part of the input shaft, well, isn't that interesting? Battery must be getting low. My brand new little light here, I don't know, blinking. Yeah, I'm going to have to, it's almost lunchtime. I've been out here all morning just kind of cleaning up, puttering away, but that's where I'm at. I'm going to attempt to get this, they're calling in the manual the input shaft. I'm going to attempt to get that apart today. So I think I'm going to go have some lunch, and I'll bring you guys back, and we'll just carry on removing gears. See you in a minute. Alrighty, guys. I'm back, had some lunch, ready to play with some more gears. Actually, I think the first thing I'm going to do is grab that camera and bring it around the other end, and we'll get the inner part of the input shaft removed, and we'll go from there. All right, so this isn't too bad. 2 bolts here, either side. I've already bent back the locking tab on that side. This side here, a screwdriver in here somehow or other. Try not to block the view of the camera. And then just tap it. Not real hard. and then flatten them out. Then 13mm socket. Not overly tight at all. Well, locking plate, you don't need it. I'm gonna get my paws in the way here, guys. And that plate's coming away right away, and there are some shims there. I was reading the manual, they talked about the shims. All right, so I'm gonna slide that off towards the camera, but get it completely off the shaft. And then shims, this is all gonna go together in one little bag. That's the bearing there. Let me get rid of all of this stuff first, get it put away. All right, if I understand the manual correctly, this bearing, oh, I see a snap ring. Well, I guess that snap ring doesn't prevent it from coming out. That snap ring obviously keeps the bearing onto the shaft. That was too sweet. And some more shims. Okay. I am going to stop right here. I put those other parts in a little Ziploc bag, but I didn't number them. I want to get this all put into Ziploc bags with all their numbers on, and actually I'm going to grab a couple of still images. I'll bring you guys back in just a couple minutes. All right, I put a rag around that bearing and gear on the end of this input shaft, and then I put all of the parts I just took off into Ziploc bags, numbered them all. I'd laid them all out on the floor in order that they came off, took a couple still images. So we'll go put these on the shelf and then we'll carry on. Now, I'm not sure if the camera picks it up, but there's a snap ring in there that I believe is going to be holding, well, I'm hoping it's holding most of the gears. If I get that off, I'm hoping things are going to apart fairly easy here. So let's see if we can get that snap ring out of there. Again, I'm probably going to get my mitts in the way, but it is what it is, guys. Not much room inside this transmission. All right. There's our snap ring. Probably feels like I'm not quite sure if that's a shim or inner part of a bearing. Oh, it's coming. I didn't think it would. Here it is. Some kind of a shim. And then, yeah, I'm looking at a bearing. All right, let me get those in a bag and get them numbered before I lose them. So from the parts manual, that's page 34, and if I'm reading it right, that's 27 and 28. And right behind that, number 25 looks like it'll come off. I think it's just the, go to the other camera. That one right there, that's the, yeah, that comes off. Oh, it won't come off. Or will it? Oh yeah, it'll come off. Go back to the other camera. So yeah, that's just the, I think they call those collars. I'm going to put that in that same bag. That is, oh, that's 26. I lied to you. That's number 26. Gotta be careful what I'm doing. It's going to be a real pain in the ass a year from now putting this back together if I number stuff wrong. All right, so those pieces, that's 26, 27, and 28. Looks like this next gear, that's gear 25. That looks like that'll, let's see if I can get in this view of this camera. This gear, yeah, I got that light down below. Let me bring that light up. That gear right there looks like it will slide off as well, so I may as well get rid of that one while we're at it. Put the light back here. I think I'm going to put that in that same bag. Keep all these parts together. All right, so now this gear here slides. That's as far as it's going to go because it's hitting the housing right there. But there's a big heavy snap ring that's stopping these two gears, and I believe if I can get rid of that snap ring, then that piece that I've been calling the bearing carrier, I'll find out what they call it and put it in, and then I think that, yeah, I think that shaft is gonna go out that way. All right, so my next challenge is a real heavy duty snap ring right there. I'm not sure if the camera sees it. It's right up against that gear there. See if we can get that one off. And they talk in the manual. This is a bearing surface here. There's a roller bearing inside here, or a needle bearing probably. They say be real careful with this snap ring not to score that. So wish me luck. Okay. That one comes off. That one comes off. All right. Okie dokie. When I was looking in the parts thing, I could see another one of those nuts that I thought my fancy tool that the neighbor made me. And they're there. I don't know. They're on the back side of this bearing carrier. I can see clearly they're going to go out. I do see some metal filings right there. Just where's that camera? On the end of my finger there. Not sure what that's about. Oh, I see. It's got a washer. Oh, yeah, okay, number 18. I'll insert that picture. The bent over tabs. Oh, and there's some shims there too. Looks like possibly it's a chunk. Not sure why. Well, when we get those out, we'll get a closer look at them. Looks like there's a chunk missing from that shim. Let me just steady this up for a minute, but I'm pretty sure I should be able to pull that out now. Okay, they're talking about in that manual that snap ring that I just moved on that bearing surface. They say as I'm pulling this out, I'll need to continue moving it that way. But yeah, that's what they're talking about. Being real careful not to scratch that surface. So I think I'm going to tighten up these screws that I have here, or bolts. I think those are 8mm bolts. As soon as I find my socket, and we'll see what happens here. Put a little bit of joy juice on there. On those threads. Not quite sure why. Those threads are a little snug. There it goes. Let me tighten up the other one as well. The other one goes easy. Again, somebody's been in here. Put in a 5/16 bolt perhaps. Okay, I just want to watch down inside as I'm tightening this. I should be able to see it. I should be able to feel it there, actually. Yeah, yep. A little bit of tension built up and it went, you know, it makes that noise. Things moved. And I'm just holding on to the head of the ratchet. I'm not even really putting in much torque on here at all, which is nice. And I can see a little torque there now. Oh, and probably I should do a little bit more even, I think. I'm just checking the pinion gear in the shaft. Nothing's binding. And these bolts that I have, they're not long enough. They said 8mm, but it's getting very loose now. They said 8mm by 75mm. They didn't have that. Just about out of thread. I might be able to put 2 bars in here. It's actually what I think I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to try. Because I'm almost out of thread. I am out of thread. Okay. Let me May as well get these bolts out of my way. Okay, I'm just checking, and everything's still turning free, so I'm just going to get a couple pry bars here and see if I can't just walk that off. If this doesn't work, I'll have to go find a couple longer bolts, that's all. My small pry bars aren't going to fit, so oh yeah, it's coming very easily actually. Okay, I got to move that snap ring again. You should be able to see it there now. Right here. If I push that gear back. Okay. Okay. I don't really want to use those great big ones. Don't have as much control. Oh, just put the two bars in the opposite way and it just about fell all the way out. Yeah, just about out, guys. 'Tis out. All right. Did drop. That's okay. I still got to deal with that snap ring. I got to move it again. Gotta move it again. And that's what they said in the manual. As you're pulling it out, you got to keep walking it along. But they said just don't let it damage the bearing surface. And again. Almost off. All right, I got the one gear. I'm just trying to, I don't want it to fall. I don't want to lose those Isn't that interesting? Did a close-up camera catch that? The spiral groove in there. I could see this one, the one that's on the end here. I could see it through the other end, and I thought that perhaps something had got caught in there and chewed its way through there. But I see they've got a spiral on this end too. Must be to get oil, I would guess, to get oil into those two needle bearings. I've already got a bag ready for this one because I knew there was needle bearings in there, and I am going to inspect all these bearings very close later. But for now, we're just going to put it in a bag so it doesn't get dirty. Still got to get that. I still got to get that snap ring right there, the rest of the way off, and then I'm going to put it with that gear. That was one heavy duty snap ring. All right, I'm not sure if I'm quite in view of that camera or not. All right, I'm just carrying the weight with my right hand and slowly sliding these last two gears, numbers. Should be 21 and 19 off. Okay. And there we have the prize. All right. I'm going to get these all numbered and bagged and maybe even take a couple pictures here. Be back in a second. Alrighty, I bagged up all those gears and numbered everything. Actually, all these pieces I've been taking off this shaft, I just been putting them in a cardboard box, trying to keep everything more or less together. The actual shaft with that bearing carry and whatnot, I put it over on the table, covered it all up with rags, and take that all apart another time. But I am so close. I am so close, guys. The shaft way down the bottom that you can now see, that's the PTO shaft. Lever on the far side here moves that fork way down on the bottom. I think you could see that if I didn't have my head in the way. But this is the one we've been after all along. And I've had that in and out 2 or 3 times. It should come out of here now. Get a pry bar behind here. There we are. And now the bearing, hopefully that bearing is out. So let me get a puller on there. Well, all right, guys, got the bearing puller on here. I'm going to hang on to the shaft on the inside, and we'll see. It's tight. Wow. I may not be able to hang on to it by hand. Wow. May have to put a screwdriver in here just to stop it from turning. That bearing is tight, guys. Well, but it's moving. I said this to the other video. I really wonder if somebody put some Loctite. I don't know if you would see it. You know, it's probably been, could be 10, 15, could be 20 years. Let me know in the comments section. If there was Loctite on there, either red or blue, do you think it would still be visible after a number of years? Or is it going to disappear? Or are these bearings just a real, it is moving. I saw a shim or something come off there. That was pretty snug all the way. I don't think there's any chance in hell that I would have ever got that off with a brass punch. Here's our bearing. Here's our bearing. And how many... I can't believe how tight. Okay, I got a shim there too. I'm going to have to look at the parts book here and make sure that I'm not losing anything. Yeah, I'm looking through the book. It shows a couple of shims that are behind this bearing. I thought I saw something fall. I've been looking around with the light and I'm not seeing it. I'm actually going to go back. This has got to go with this shaft. That goes on this end. I'm going to rewatch the video and see if there was actually something, but I don't think I have anything missing. Looking at the parts manual, I took off snap ring 14 and washer 12. Says there's another shim there, 13. I'm going to go and rewatch the video, and then I'm going to come back and look around a little wee bit more. I don't want to move anything just yet. Anyhow, I think this video is already too darn long, so we're going to quit here. I don't know if I'm going to take the PTO shaft out. It's the only thing left, but yeah, I don't know. I do want to look at that oil pump later. Those other 2 shafts, one I took off yesterday, and yeah, the piece I got off today, I'm probably going to take all that apart and have a good look at that too. However, I think we're going to end this video here. Appreciate your time. If you'd like to help out my little channel at all, you know the drill. Like, subscribe, share, click the bell, leave a comment. All the usual YouTube blah, blah, blah stuff. Whatever. I definitely appreciate you guys hanging out in the shop with me. So take care. We'll see you next time in my old tractor shed. Ciao. Feels like a shim of some sort there. It's rotating. Could you? Edit. I had a good lunch. Oh dear.